thinking that everyone was from the same place. They were classmates, and in the future, Mo and Lin Wanting would be in the same university. This was fate. So Mr. and Mrs. Lin asked Mo, in the future, Wanting will be in school. I will have to trouble you to take care of her. This was the first time for their daughter to go far away, and her parents were not around. Naturally, Mr. and Mrs. Lin were not at ease, so they said this to Mo otherwise. According to Mr. and Mrs. Lin's character, they were not willing to trouble others. Mr. and Mrs. Lin's words made Mo startled. He didn't react, but Lady Li pushed him from the side. Mo softly said, "Uncle, Auntie, rest assured, I will." Mo's words were short, but they were powerful and convincing. Mo really didn't want to have anything to do with Lin Wanting in the future, but Mr. Lin's words reminded him. Lin Wanting was a girl outside. What if she was bullied? It was impossible for him to ignore her. So, Mo promised them. Since he promised, he will do it. Mama Li smiled at them and said, "You can rest assured, these two children take care of each other very well, and they also have an acquaintance. If I have a daughter like Wanting, I will also treasure her. Mo will take good care of her." Mama Li's words seemed to be polite to Mr. and Mrs. Lin, but in Mo's heart, there was a strange feeling. Take good care of Lin Wanting in the future? Mo clenched his hands and pursed his lips, trying to suppress the strange feeling in his heart. However, when they were talking, Lin Wanting's eyes fell directly on him, just like before in school. This made Mo even more uncomfortable. Also, in front of both parents, can't she restrain herself a little? Mo wanted to reach out and cover Lin Wanting's eyes. They were ready to leave after a brief conversation. However, before they parted, 001 stopped Mo and said to him enthusiastically, "Mo, I look forward to seeing you in college." Mo nodded politely to 001, but his mother's meaningful eyes behind his back made him feel cold. Of course, Mo knew that 001 was being kind, but because of her actions, he was in a predicament again. This really made Mo's feelings towards 001 indescribable. It seems that since he met Lin Wanting during the summer vacation, he's been feeling like this. Sure enough, after returning home, Lady Li put on a posture to talk to Mo, and Mo had to sit down. Mo, what's going on with you and that little girl?" Lady Li asked directly, which made Mo's face slightly stiff for a moment. Lady Li, who had been paying attention to her son, naturally would not miss this small detail. She put on an attitude and waited for Mo to answer her. Mo took a deep breath and said as calmly as possible, "There's nothing between me and her. It's not what you think." Mo really could not tell his mother about the things between him and Lin Wanting. However, there was really nothing between the two of them now. At least in Mo's view, they did not deliberately flirt. All of this was a bit of a coincidence. Mama Li did not force Mo. She just looked at him deeply and said, "Son, you know it in your heart. If there is anything you don't understand, you can ask me." Lady Li patted Mo on the shoulder and left. After all, she was also an experienced person, and she also understood some of the thoughts of young people. However, Lady Li's actions still knocked heavily on Mo's heart, knocking some things that he had always wanted to escape. Just like that, 001 and Error went to college. She had a little taste of college life in Lin Wanting's memory, and she and Error were both looking forward to it. Mo and 001 both went to college on the same day, just happened to be sent there by their parents, and both of them had an appointment. On the train, Mr. Lin and Mr. Li were talking, and Mrs. Lin and Mama Li were also chatting happily, leaving 001 and Mo staring at each other. Of course, 001 did not feel this kind of embarrassment. She friendly handed her snack bag to Mo. "It's very delicious. Do you want to eat?" Mo did not know why, but now that he was with Lin Wanting, he felt that something was wrong. He could only make himself ignore her as much as possible, but that was not good. 001 broke the silence. Mo shook his head and said, "No, thank you." 001 ate by herself, but of course, even so, her etiquette was still very good. Mo would not take the initiative to talk to 001. Instead, He picked up a book to read. The two of them sat together, doing their own things, very harmonious. 001 could not make a sound at all. But not only did Li Mo not feel annoyed, but he could not help but raise the corner of his mouth. Mr. Lin and Mrs. Lin did not notice the problem between Li Mo and Lin Wanting, but Lady Li was well aware of it. She did not say that she wanted to matchmake Li Mo and Lin Wanting. She would not interfere too much in her own son's emotional problems. Lady Li would only remind Li Mo in case he made mistakes. She looked at Li Mo and Lin Wanting worriedly, and could not help but feel relieved. When they arrived at the university, the parents of the two families went to help them with the formalities and so on. Lin Wanting was escorted to Su Se by Li Mo and helped her carry her luggage. Lin Wanting and Li Mo were such a handsome man and a beautiful woman, so they could not help but attract a few more glances along the way. What's more, Lin Wanting had a unique temperament, as if she was a lady from an ancient family. Such a beautiful woman was rare in today's society. "Hello, classmate. I am Sun Sun, living in the upper berth of your room." As soon as 001 arrived at the dormitory, when Li Mo was helping her put her things down, a roommate came to greet her. The other party was a beautiful and lovely girl. She seemed to have a cheerful personality and looked very beautiful when she smiled. 001 also nodded to her kindly. "Hello, I am Lin Wanting. Nice to meet you." 001 followed the etiquette that Lin Wanting should have, but her temperament was gentle and her temper was gentle, which made people have a good impression on her. Sun Sun immediately pointed to Li Mo and winked at 001. "Wanting, is this your boyfriend? He is so good-looking." Sun Sun really thought that Lin Wanting and Li Mo were a good match, not only because of their outstanding appearance, but also because of their different temperament from a scholarly family. Although Sun Sun said it in a low voice, Li Mo still heard it, which made him stop packing his things. Li Mo persuaded himself not to care, but his ears pricked up spontaneously. However, 001 said without hesitation, "No, I don't like him." 001 always remembered her task. She couldn't let others know that Lin Wanting liked Li Mo. After all, it was a secret love. Moreover, Li Mo was never Lin Wanting's boyfriend, but Sun Jiaoyang's. When he heard this answer, Li Mo's heart surged with a sense of discomfort that even he could not ignore. This caused him to be slightly stunned. But then Li Mo couldn't help thinking that Lin Wanting liked to say one thing and mean another, which made Li Mo's feelings more complicated. Sun Sun blinked her eyes. She looked at Lin Wanting and Li Mo inquisitively. She always felt that things were not so simple. Her eyes were sparkling and full of gossip. At this time, the other two girls in the dormitory came in, but their clothes were in sharp contrast. One was too simple, and the other was too luxurious. At a glance, it could almost be seen that the two of them were from families. The simple one was Xiao Xiao, who came from the countryside. It was not easy for her to get into the university. She was very down-to-earth and serious. The ostentatious one was Xiang Hua. She was able to get into this university because her father had invited many famous teachers to teach her alone. Through coercion and temptation, she was able to get into this university. After getting into the university, Xiang Hua was free and unrestrained, and she didn't care about her studies at all. Therefore, after that, 001 only got close to Sun Sun because Xiao Xiao had to do a part-time job and Xiang Hua had countless parties. They basically didn't see anyone. Now, 001 greeted them politely, and Xiao Xiao responded in the same way. Xiang Hua responded lazily. She was not interested in them, so she didn't care much about these roommates. But when her eyes fell on Li Mo, she became a little more energetic. This was noticed by Sun Sun. She gently pushed 001, but she met 001's puzzled eyes. This caused Sun Sun to be unable to help but sigh, and he didn't say anything further. Maybe she was wrong. She didn't want to sow discord between classmates as soon as she arrived. Li Mo didn't care about them either. After saying goodbye to them lightly, he left with Lin Wanting. Based on Lin Wanting's good relationship with others in the class, Li Mo didn't think he needed to worry about these roommates. However, when they stopped in front of the dormitory building, Li Mo couldn't help telling 001, You may know a person's face, but you don't know his heart. If you don't know him, don't trust him too much, even if he is your roommate. Lee Mo paused for a moment. Since he had already said it, he didn't mind saying more, no matter what Lin Wanting thought of him. Chapter 77. Sweet Little Angels Lilila, Admiral 001. You have once again completed the mission of annihilating the demonic beasts. The Marshal hereby rewards you. On planet Araga, General 001, who had always maintained the #1 position in foreign warfare in recent years, stood in the planet's projector and listened to a mechanical voice commenting on her mission. Yes, 001 obeys. General 001 nodded slightly. He caught the things it sent out. Her voice and her expression, it was as cold as the machine from before. Completely emotionless. However, when she saw the contents clearly, her expressionless face showed a rare look of shock. Her voice was firm and decisive in giving orders in battle. At this moment, he was actually uncertain. Reward 001. A journey of the 7 emotions and 6 desires on Earth. What does that mean? 001 asked in confusion. However, the machine's voice remained monotonous. Respected General, I do not know. This is the Marshal's order. After saying that, it disappeared. After all, it had already done what the Marshal had instructed it to do. Don't you understand? It was General 001's companion Error who spoke. Everyone on planet Araga was born with a companion artifact. They had deep feelings for each other and would accompany each other for life. It was just that everything had its owner. He nodded, his eyes filled with confusion. Your combat ability is already the strongest in Araga. But the opposite was wisdom. The intelligence of the Aragas is not even 1/10 of that of the Earthlings. The Marshal hopes that you can go to Earth and learn well. Moreover, a qualified strongest warrior is not a killing machine. He hopes that you can have feelings. Earthlings are the most emotional creatures. 001 was the best soldier. She would do her best to complete the tasks assigned by the Marshal, and this time was no exception. Although 001 thought that this was the weirdest and most confusing task she had ever received, all she had to do in the past was to annihilate the demons that invaded Araga. The Aragas were all brawn and no brains. They could not be compared to the cunning Earthlings. However, 001 in the end, she still accepted it solemnly, just like she always did when she shouldered a mission. 001 landed on Earth with her companion, the Error. She knew nothing about Earth. Quickly go invisible. The companion Error shouted at the moment 001 was about to land on her. 001 trusted its judgment, so she immediately opened a protective shield to protect herself, and at the same time, made it so that no one could see her. After 001 stood firm, she suddenly felt embarrassed, although she didn't know this emotion. She was glad that she had listened to Error. Otherwise, she was afraid that she would cause panic among the people on Earth. Because in the eyes of 001, the people on Earth were too small, not even the size of her finger. He even praised his daughter for having character and courage. Furthermore, after Sun Jiayang transferred, she became the biggest sponsor of the high school. The school could only turn a blind eye to Sun Jiayang's behavior. From then on, Sun Jiayang became Li Mo's desk mate. She began to pester and pursue him every day. In the beginning, Li Mo did not react to Sun Jiayang's confession, which made Lin Wanting feel slightly at ease. However, at the same time, she envied and admired Sun Jiayang for being able to be so bold and express her feelings without caring about others' opinions. Lin Wanting couldn't do that, which made her heart sour. Moreover, as Sun Jiayang pursued Li Mo step by step, it made Lin Wanting even more nervous. This was because Li Mo had treated Sun Jiayang as nothing in the beginning. However, later on, Man no longer rejected her. In fact, he even accepted her and tolerated her. Lin Wanting had been watching Li Mo in the dark for so long. She knew his reaction like the back of her hand, which made her even more frightened. But other than feeling bitter and crying behind her back, there was nothing she could do. She could only bury her feelings in the bottom of her heart. With such a sincere heart in front of him, and her passion in pursuing him, it was normal for Lee Mo to be moved. With such a sincere heart in front of him, and with her pursuing him so passionately, it was normal for Lee Mo to be moved. Sun Jiaoyang's results weren't good, but she was talented. She was outstanding in singing, dancing, and playing the piano. Lee Mo was the class representative. Lin Wanting was the study representative, and Sun Jiaoyang was the recreational representative. In order to pursue Lee Mo, Sun Jiaoyang tried her best to get close to him. Because his grades were always the top in the class, she found excuses to ask him to tutor her. In fact, Sun Jiaoyang hated studying the most, but for the sake of Lee Mo, her grades kept improving. In the end, Sun Jiaoyang and Lee Mo started dating, and they became a couple that everyone in the class admired. Girls knew girls best. Sun Jiaoyang could see Lin Wanting's feelings for Lee Mo, so she had been rejecting her. Ever since Lee Mo and Sun Jiaoyang started dating, Lin Wanting was very disappointed and sad. But since it had become a reality, Lin Wanting learned to let it go and hid her feelings even more tightly. However, after they graduated from high school, Lee Mo broke up with Sun Jiaoyang. This relationship was initiated by Sun Jiaoyang, and she was the one who pursued Lee Mo. She felt that she had sacrificed more in this relationship. Sun Jiaoyang was originally a pampered young lady. If she didn't really like Lee Mo, how could she put down her pride in front of him? Before she pursued Lee Mo, Sun Jiaoyang only wanted him to accept her. But after dating Lee Mo and becoming his girlfriend, Sun Jiaoyang wasn't satisfied. She desired more. She felt that Lee Mo wasn't warm enough to her, not as much as she liked him. What's more, Sun Jiaoyang had a childhood sweetheart, Qian Tian, who was deeply in love with her. He was also secretly provoking their relationship. Sun Jiaoyang was sad and disappointed with Lee Mo, so she sent him a message to break up and went abroad with Qian Tian to study abroad. Lee Mo suffered a great blow because of Sun Jiaoyang and became more cold and unpredictable than before. Lin Wanting and Lee Mo went to the same university. Her heart, which had died after Lee Mo and Sun Jiaoyang started dating, was revived again after they broke up. Could it be that he was such a fickle man? Sun Jiaoyang hadn't left him for long, and he had already started to pay attention to other women. However, Lin Wanting's every move made him feel helpless, and there was an indescribable feeling. Lee Mo couldn't help but care about it. These things made Lee Mo upset. He sat down by the pool and threw stones into it. Recent things flashed before his eyes like a mess, which made Lee Mo's mood worse and worse. Lee Mo simply took off his clothes and put them aside. He plunged into the water, trying to calm himself down. The most terrible thing was to lose one's reason and calmness, and things would get worse and worse. At this time, 001 arrived. Hearing the sound of water, she sped up and shouted, "Lee Mo." Lee Mo jumped out of the water instinctively, and the water splashed everywhere. He happened to meet 001's eyes on the shore. There was a dead silence. Lee Mo was completely stunned. He didn't know how to react at all. 001 breathed a sigh of relief. Lee Mo was still alive. The night wind blew, making Lee Mo's body involuntarily shrink, which woke him up. Lee Mo suddenly realized what kind of state he was in. He was naked in the water, and Lin Wanting saw it all on the shore. Lee Mo's body was completely stiff, and his face was the same. He didn't know how to react at all. Lee Mo had never encountered such a difficult situation in his life. He even felt that he was stupid to worry about those things just now. Compared with this, it was nothing. 001 doesn't know what Lee Mo is thinking. She looks at him motionless in the water. She looked at him motionlessly in the water. 001 smiled gently and said, "Lee Mo, let me pull you up." Lee Mo turned his head like a robot, making a creaking sound. Lee Mo's eyes widened uncontrollably as if he was shocked. Such an expression had never appeared on Lee Mo's face. This was really an eye-opener. But looking at it carefully, it added a little childishness to Lee Mo's body, which made him look a little cute. Why was she just standing here and watching? Could it be that she was not frightened and would not scream in panic? Lin Wanting didn't turn her back. She actually reached out to him with a calm face and pulled him up. Was he making a fuss? Was it not a big deal for a girl to see a naked man? Limo's mind was in a mess. He was confused by 001's actions. But in fact, for the people of planet Araga, their form did not need clothes, so they didn't feel anything about Limo's naked 001. 001 frowned slightly. Why hadn't Limo acted yet? The creatures on Earth were so fragile. If he stayed in the water for a long time, his body would probably be in trouble. Just as 001 was about to bend down to catch Missouri, the sound of footsteps and laughter came from the other side of the forest. 001 curiously turned her head to look at Limo. At this time, Limo finally moved. He grabbed 001's hand and dragged her into the water. There was only one thought in Limo's mind at that time. He must not let them see him like this. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to explain themselves. Limo dragged 001 over, held her body in his arms, and hid behind a big rock with her. However, Limo realized that he had made a stupid decision, because he was not wearing anything, but there was no gap between him and the warm and soft body in his arms. In this chilly night wind and ice-cold pond water, the soft and smooth body in his arms was the only warmth he had. Hugging Lin, wanting tighter, was the human instinct to absorb heat, but this made Limo feel Lin Wanning's body more deeply. Especially when Limo's big hand covered Lin Wanning's small mouth. He felt her hot breath in his palm and her delicate and soft lips. This caused Limo's heart to involuntarily feel strange, like shallow ripples on the surface of a lake. Limo's hand couldn't help but tremble slightly. He put himself in a more awkward situation, but now he was really in a difficult position. 001 was obediently in Limo's arms and did not resist. She felt inexplicable about his series of actions and had no idea what he wanted to do. And the person who came was a man and a woman. They were not classmates, but a young couple. Instead of sleeping in the middle of the night, the young couple came to this place. What else was there to say? Sure enough, the young couple did not say much and went straight to the point. Soon, there was a flirtatious sound in the woods. Limo, the skin covered by his hand, and the body close to Lin Wanning were burning hot. Limo had never been so embarrassed in his life. If he could go back in time, Limo definitely wouldn't have come to this place at night without sleeping. Even if he came here, he would not go down to take a bath, let alone pull Lin Wanting into the water as if he had a brain cramp. Chapter 79. Sweet Little Angels Lili Lila But Now. 001 was really new to this kind of emotional task. She could only take it one step at a time. Limo carefully planted a kiss on 001's hair and looked at her as if he was looking at a treasure. To Limo, the person in his arms was his treasure. He wanted to spend the rest of his life with her. Father Lin's mother Lin had just accepted Limo as Lin Wanning's boyfriend, but now he immediately asked to be engaged to their daughter, Lin Fu's mother Lin. Although they were very happy that Limo was serious about their daughter, they still thought that it was too fast. Marriage was not a child's play. If it weren't for the fact that they weren't even at the age of marriage, Limo would have wanted to directly get their marriage certificate with 001. Fortunately, 001 didn't know Limo's true thoughts. Otherwise, she would have been scared to death by him. However, even so, 001 is now in a fog. However, Limo was very determined and sincere. His daughter didn't object. For the time being, there was nothing wrong with Limo. Father Lin's mother Lin was worried that they were young and unstable. They didn't understand what marriage was. They were also worried that Limo would change in the future and wouldn't be good for their daughter. However, fortunately, it was only an engagement. There was still a buffer period for them to take a closer look at Limo. If it really didn't work, it was nothing to annul the engagement. It wouldn't have a big impact on their daughter. Family Lin thought that Limo and Lin Wanning were young. They were still students, so the engagement ceremony wasn't held in a big way. It was just a simple meal for the two families. Family Lin's parents loved their daughter. Limo and his parents understood. They understood that the real test would come after the engagement. If they could get married, Family Lin's parents would definitely hold a big party. Anyway, 001 didn't understand any of this at all, and she didn't have any objections. Everything was left to them. There was only one thing that 001 personally participated in, which was to choose an engagement ring with Lee Mo. Which one do you like? Lee Mo and 001 intertwined their fingers. He hugged her and leaned against the jewelry counter. He turned his head and asked 001 gently. Lee Mo used his own money to buy them engagement rings. He and several of his roommates had already started a company. Now that the prototype had just been formed, he still had some money in his hands. 001 looked at the dazzling ring in the counter. She did not have the instinct of the females on the earth. These things looked the same to her. However, 001 had completely replicated the data Lin Wanting had. She knew what her aesthetics should be like. Therefore, 001 pointed to a simple classic ring and said this. Lee Mo asked the saleswoman to take it out for them. Lee Mo and Lin Wanting were really eye-catching in this store. It was not only because they were a talented man and beautiful woman, but also because they were too young. However, both of them were unaware of it. Lee Mo took it in his hand and gently put 001's middle finger on her. He circled her. This was his mark. This thought made Lee Mo's heart skip a beat. He couldn't help but bow his head and kiss 001's finger, restraining his surging feelings. Wan, we will be good for the rest of our lives. When Lee Mo bowed his head in front of 001, his long eyelashes fluttered and a sincere sigh overflowed from his mouth. The word forever made 001's heart skip a beat. The lifespan of the creatures on planet Araga was much longer than that of humans on the Earth. However, the young man in front of her made a promise to her. 001 didn't know much about human beings, but from Lin Wanting's memory, she also knew what kind of person the young man in front of her was. This made 001's heart suddenly feel a little heavy, and she was a little helpless. 001 had never been confused or wavered when carrying out a task. She was very decisive. However, when it came to unknown areas that she didn't understand, she didn't know what to do. It's beautiful. Lee Mo put 001's hand in his palm and gently stroked it. He looked at 001 with tenderness in his eyes. Although Lee Mo had already helped 001 put it on once when he was trying on the ring, when he was really engaged to her and made the engagement in front of the parents of the two families, Lee Mo's hands couldn't help but tremble. Of course, Lee Mo's face was still as calm as before, but now one could see the obvious joy in it. Only 001 who was close to him could notice the trembling of his body. 001 didn't understand this kind of emotion in human males, but she instinctively wanted to help him calm down. 001 held Lee Mo's hand, which made Lee Mo look at her with amazingly bright eyes, but miraculously, he also calmed down. Lee Mo gazed deeply at 001 and helped her put on the ring, just like in the jewelry store before. However, 001 obviously felt that the atmosphere and Lee Mo's deep feelings were more precious than before. Lee Mo's thousands of words were hidden in his eyes as he gazed at 001. He didn't say them out loud, but he had already repeated them thousands of times in his heart. When 001 helped Lee Mo put on the ring, her face was still as gentle as usual. For her, it was really just a ceremony. 001 clearly understood the meaning of this ceremony, but she couldn't feel emotions. However, when 001 put the ring on him, Lee Mo couldn't help holding his breath. His eyes fell on 001 and stared at her without blinking. His heart couldn't help but tremble for the girl in front of him. The rings they wore on each other's hands were like a rope that tied their hearts together. Such an inseparable relationship made Lee Mo's heart tremble for a while, but his whole body was filled with joy that couldn't be ignored. This perspective was very strange, but Lin Wanting's voice eased this feeling very well. Lee Mo calmed his tumbling emotions and told him what Mama Lee had told him. This made the smile on 001's face widen. She said in surprise, "That's great. Thank Andy for me." Hearing Lin Wanting's words and looking at her expression, Lee Mo's lips unconsciously showed a smile. Therefore, his words became softer. "Wait a minute, I still have some here." I'll show them to you. Which flavor do you like? When Liamo left, 001 took off her clothes and began to change into pajamas. When Liamo re-entered the video interface, the first thing he saw was a small, delicate, and fair waist, and even more beautiful and alluring scenery above it. The phone in Liamo's hand fell immediately, making a loud noise, which was heard by other students in the dormitory. Liamo's nose finally couldn't help but bleed. He quickly covered his nose. Although Liamo was fast enough, a few drops still fell on his quilt, showing a dazzling bright red. Liamo was completely stunned. His mind was completely filled with the scene he had just seen. Chapter 80. Sweet little angels, little lie after all. This was the young man she liked so much. He was the first love she liked with all her might and tried her best to pursue. In this relationship, Sun Jiaoyang had indeed put in more effort than Liamo. Moreover, she also believed that the one who fell in love first must be the loser. Even if she was bright and moving, she smiled brightly at Liamo. She was generous and confident in front of others. But in this relationship, she felt inferior. And it was also Liamo's first time in a relationship. He was also a novice. There were also many things that he couldn't handle in a relationship. In the end, Liamo was still too young, but he couldn't deny his sincerity in dating Sun Jiaoyang at that time. When Sun Jiaoyang was pursuing Liamo, she thought that as long as he could fall in love with her, she wouldn't care about anything else. However, a little girl, and a young lady who had been pampered since she was young, even if she might always be so rational and not ask for anything in return, after Sun Jiaoyang got it, she became more and more greedy and dissatisfied. She began to care about her gains and losses in this relationship, and at the same time, her heart became more and more uncomfortable. Sun Jiaoyang was a dignified young lady. In order to not only put down her airs, she did many things that she would never do. She went through a lot of hardships. This moved him. Before Liamo accepted her, Sun Jiaoyang was willing to endure it and thought that it was sweet. But after becoming Liamo's girlfriend, Sun Jiaoyang felt that she was not worth it. Which boyfriend didn't treat his girlfriend like the palm of his hand? Why was Liamo not warm enough to her? Not to mention that there were many girls who couldn't compare to her. Why didn't she receive this treatment? Sun Jiaoyang wanted Liamo to regret it. She wanted Liamo to know that she could not live without him. Moreover, her childhood sweetheart, who was plotting against her, was sowing discord between them. In a fit of anger, Sun Jiaoyang impulsively told Liamo that she wanted to break up with him and go abroad. In fact, after going abroad, Sun Jiaoyang's mind calmed down and she regretted it. However, for the sake of her pride, she couldn't bring herself to go back to China to look for Liamo. Sun Jiaoyang thought that as long as Liamo chased after her, she would go back with him. However, she waited and waited, but Liamo still did not come. This made Sun Jiaoyang disheartened. In her heart, she had truly broken up with Liamo. She would still try to get in touch with other boys. After Liamo, Sun Jiaoyang also dated a few other men, all of whom had good looks and abilities. However, Sun Jiaoyang realized that he could never forget Liamo until she received a phone call from Xianghua, which gave Sun Jiaoyang an excuse to go back to China. Because of this phone call, Sun Jiaoyang went back to China 5 years earlier than in the plot. Liamo coughed so much that he could not speak at all, but he waved his hand again and again, wanting 001 to leave. 001 looked at him doubtfully, but she had always been obedient, so she sat a little farther away from Liamo. After the fragrance belonging to 001 was a little farther away from him, Liamo felt that he was able to breathe. Otherwise, the rolling emotions in his heart would drown him. However, when Liamo finally calmed down a little, he looked up and a fire rushed straight to the top of his head. Because of the pull just now, a few buttons on 001's shirt broke, and some of the clothes fell on one side. The water he splashed also splashed on her body. It could be imagined how tempting 001 was to men now, but she didn't feel it at all. Liamo couldn't stand it at a glance, especially when she was so close to him, as if he could touch her. When 001 sat down, the length of the shirt was tightly covered, but this made it more attractive, and he wanted to explore it further. Liam suddenly stood up, which was very abrupt and strange, and 001 looked at him in surprise. However, Liam couldn't care so much. He felt that if he didn't stay away from Lin wanting, it would be too dangerous. Liam turned his back to 001 and didn't look at her. He quickly explained the matter to her. Liam couldn't help but feel lucky that he had memorized the precautions. Otherwise, he would have been speechless at this moment, because his brain was not working at all. After Liam finished speaking, he quickly fled from 001 as if he was burned by fire. Yes, he fled. He felt that if he didn't leave, something bad would happen. However, 001 was puzzled about it. Liam was strange. It was really difficult to understand the minds of men on the earth. As soon as Liam came back, he shut himself in the bathroom to take a bath. He took a deep breath and tried to calm himself down. However, even if he stood under the shower with cold water, his body and his mind were hot, and he couldn't calm down. Liam turned off the water irritably, wiped his body, put on his clothes, and came out. However, although Liam fell asleep very quickly, there was a little devil in his dream.